Hello, this time round I thought we would take a look at the price of crude oil. It's perhaps been not the most interesting market over the last month or so, but given that, I don't know if you can see it there, it's perhaps breaking through the downtrend that's been in place for some time. It could be set to get a bit more exciting. So I thought, as usual, let's catch up with some of the recent news on oil, some of the forecasts for 2024 for US crude, and then, as ever, jump on the charts, see where the opportunity might be and see if there's a trade to do. And I think there is a trade to do here. I might need to be a little bit patient, but I'm going to set it up during that part of this video. Before I get into that, just a quick word about the newsletter I send out every week. It's free of charge. I send it out over the weekend, and in the newsletter I talk about what's going on in markets, what's moving, what's interesting, what am I trading at the moment. I'm doing a lot of trading of US stocks this year in addition to all the other stuff I do. So I'll talk about some of the stocks I'm trading in there. I'm typically doing 1 to 2 US stock trades a day, looking to run them from a more medium term point of view. And also in the newsletter, there's a trading tip designed to make you a better trader. So you can sign up for the newsletter by going to the website, davidjonestrading.co.uk. On the homepage there's a box about halfway down somewhere. Or to make it even easier, if you go to bit.ly/DJT news, you can sign up directly from there. But I'll put all these links in the description down below. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll start getting it from this weekend. So I normally send it out Saturday night, Sunday morning with all of those things. And there's the sort of markets that I'm trading. Right, let's get into it and take a look at oil in a bit more detail. So, we saw a peak for oil back in September of last year, September 2023. We saw it trade as high as $95 a barrel. And since then it's been in decline. And we saw it reach, $68 in December. So the price slid by about $27. So almost a 30% decline over a few months in the price of oil. Sizable decline for a major commodity for oil. So those December levels were 6-month lows for the price of oil. Since then, we've seen it trade fairly sideways. It's been pretty flat, but just today, just as I'm recording this today on Thursday, we are seeing it, or the first signs of oil perhaps breaking out of that downtrend that's been in place since September. So I thought it was interesting, and that's why I thought I'd do a video. When it comes to forecasts for the year ahead, at the time of recording, oil's trading around about $75, $76 a barrel. Forecasts for the year, most are quite bullish on oil, most of the major investment banks, but not overly bullish. No one's really saying, I don't think, above $100 a barrel, but forecasting $85 to $90 a barrel for oil as the year goes on. And there's a few things that are being cited as perhaps fueling a bit of a rally in oil. Ongoing cuts by OPEC, the cartel of oil producing nations, could keep supply under control. And then we had that news yesterday because we saw the boost for the China stock market. I don't know if you saw that. The China A50 was a good example because we heard that China have plans to try and boost the economy, support markets. And that's something, again, that some analysts think may help the price of oil. If we see the Chinese economy being supported, then clearly that's a part of the world where there is big demand for oil. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But I thought it was interesting, given the strength that we've seen over the last couple of days, to take a look at oil. I know what the trade is I want to do. Like I say, I need to be perhaps a little bit patient. But let's jump on the charts and take a look at the trends and the levels to watch for oil and where I think the trade might be. Right, let's take a look at this crude oil price. So just as a quick reminder, back in 2022, we had the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Of course, we saw the price of plenty of markets spike. We saw the oil price trade as high as about $131 a barrel and then sold off into March 2023, made a base around 64 to 68 in the end. And what's interesting, I suppose, after the rally up into September, up around about $95 a barrel, we've come back down and these old lows have held. So actually, if there is somewhere that the oil price was going to turn around, then we've seen it over the last few weeks. if we were looking at trends, I think this is interesting, picking up on those highs from September, the end of September 2023. We'd had a downtrend, and just over the last couple of days, we are seeing the price starting to push through this and also push through the sort of most recent significant high from the 26th of December. That comes in around $76 a barrel, and we're just pushing through that today. So I thought there's a couple of reasons there why oil might be interesting. I'm going to set the trade up in a minute, but first of all, let's take a look at a few other things. So the RSI. So on the RSI at the moment, it is heading towards overbought, but we're still a bit of a distance away from it. The last time this market went overbought, this is a 10-day RSI. It happened in late August, early September. The market did run quite a bit higher though, before eventually giving it up. We had some oversold signals down here, a bit of bearish divergence as well in December, where the market makes a low and then moves lower still, but the RSI is making higher lows. It can be a suggestion that sentiment is changing, and that was the case. Bullish divergence, I should say, not bearish divergence. So a suggestion that perhaps a short-term low, at the very least, could be in place, and that's what we've seen so far. So we are seeing this market recovering. I just wonder, though, how much of a problem, assuming we see it a bit stronger than where it is now, is this $80 zone going to be? So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. That's the highs from mid-November and late November. So the last couple of weeks in November, we saw rallies by oil up to $80 a barrel. Ultimately, they ran out of steam. We'll come back to this in a second because that's what I want to use to set the trade up. But if I go to the hourly charts, the trend is absolutely still up on these hourly charts. So if I pick up on the recent uptrend, it looks something like that. And it's a pretty textbook uptrend that's been running since the 17th of January. So if I was trading it today and looking to put a trade on now, I'd absolutely be a buyer of the dip. We've seen various pockets of support on the way up from earlier this week, down at 72.5, from Tuesday at 73.40, and yesterday, Wednesday, down at 73.90. So there absolutely is, in the short term at least, an appetite to be a buyer of the dips in oil. So that's why I want to be a bit patient, because the trade I want to do, I want to sell short. So I think, yes, there could be some strength left in the price of oil, but perhaps the risk is it starts to run out of steam once again when we push up to these old levels. So let's set that up. So what I'm thinking about doing is selling a bit more strength. So I'm going to leave an order to sell at 78 for oil, and I'm going to put a stop loss on that trade in at 81.50. So I think we could well see further strength in the oil price, but I think this $80 level is going to be a barrier. So I want to be short. Let me jump on the trading platform and set that up. So you can find out who my preferred broker is by following the link, again, in the description down below. The reason I trade with them, very tight spreads, as you can see, and if you're even a semi-active trader, that can make a massive difference to your P&L when it comes to trade. Why pay more in spread? So what I want to do is put an order in to sell if oil gets to $78 a barrel. So at the moment it's trading at 76.18. I'm going to leave my order in at 78. So if the market gets to 78, sell it. Put a stop loss in at 81.5. There it is, 81.50. So at the moment my risk is £350. If I want to, I can trade smaller. So I can trade a fractional amount. I can trade 0.1 if I want to. So my risk then is only £35. I think it's another benefit of trading with this broker. But let's put it back up to 1. So I'll sell 1 contract if the market gets to 78. If that order gets filled, put a stop in at 81.50. So let's click on submit. We'll send that order in. So that order will sit there a couple of dollars above where the market's trading now to sell at 78. And let's see if that order gets filled and I end up being short oil. So I think that's an interesting trade to do. At the moment, it's a market that is still strong. So it wouldn't surprise me if it continued to move higher. But I think this $80 level could be really interesting in oil. We'll take a look again in Friday's live stream, see where it's trading then. For me, it's the first move potentially out of that downtrend, but I do think there are some hurdles left for oil, so it wouldn't surprise me if we did see it start to struggle a bit more in the days ahead. Let's see how it works out and whether that trade gets filled. So that's it for this update on oil. So a bit of strength, but I'm not convinced yet. So I'd still be looking to sell short oil, although in the short term, that trend is definitely up. So that's why I placed the order. I don't want to go short just yet, but I think perhaps we could see the price of oil start to run out of steam again. As usual, we'll take a look in this week's live stream. So I do the live stream every Friday, 2:30 UK time, 9:30 in the morning, East Coast US time, to find out more about the other stuff I do, trading courses, to sign up for the newsletter. Go to the website, davidjonestrading.co.uk. As usual, all the links are in the description down below. But for oil, we'll leave things there. So until the next time, good luck with your trading.